Color temperature and white balance are one of those concepts that definitely took me a few tries to get when I was first learning about this stuff. So I want to try to provide some repetition. I want to do a little movie about this and show how it is on the camera. But please note page 6 in the book, and also I think page 24 in the guide to the Panasonic, both have excellent explanations of color temperature and white balance. The guide has a really good explanation. It's maybe like a page and a half long over the different things you can do with white balance on the CX350. So this is one of those things, it takes a few times through. I'm going to do my best to explain it, but it's going to take some repetition and some practice. So the idea is this, light inherently has a color cast to it. It goes more to the blue, or cool light, as we call it, or more toward the red or orange, and that's a warm light. And generally, our eyeballs are very good at adjusting for this. It never looks odd. If we have the sun shining from one direction and a very cool light, a candle from the other direction, and one tends to be real blue, one tends to be real yellow, our eyes will just adjust and see that as it's intended. The camera, not so much. A situation like that, you would really see it. Or we've all seen those really blue images. It looks color balanced improperly. And sometimes you can fix it after, but really what you want to do is to be able to set the camera properly. This is about manual functionality, because in auto settings, the camera will just worry about this on its own and make its best possible adjustment. But sometimes you want to take control over this. I recommend a manual white balance, for instance, for interviews. So let me explain and show you. This is the idea. And you can see here, there's lots of images of this. You can Google it and see different variations, but bluer light and these Kelvin temperatures, okay? This is the way we measure this idea of the color temperature. Warmer is lower numbers and higher is cooler. Higher numbers mean a cooler image. A candle would be all the way down at this end, and the sun would be all the way up at this end. Incandescent light somewhere in the middle, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the basic idea. And let me just show you where the manual controls are on the camera. I've got a camera set up just to show you over here. Okay, so here we see our camera, and just remember in this case, the governor switch. If this is on auto, we're just going to have automatic white balance. But when we turn it to manual, we take control. And again, just a reminder that if you get in the menus, you can take even more control over this. And for instance, create a situation where white balance stays on auto while you do manual adjustments, say to exposure. Okay, so once we get going with the white balance, there's a couple of things to know. There's this switch here that is preset A and B. Preset A and B. And preset has several preset settings, basically a daylight setting, an indoor setting, and an outdoor setting, basically one for sunlight and one for lights. And then there's a third one in there. There's 3 presets. The third one you can actually program. And then the other switch you want to be aware of, it's a little hard to see, but on the front of the camera here, see if we can get it right there. You see there's a switch that says AWB, or auto white balance, and it's right on the front there by your finger. You know, it's a little tough to see. So those two work in conjunction, and when you're in manual, what happens is that when we're on preset, the front button toggles through those settings. So a way to take control, but not totally custom control, is just if you go from indoor to outdoor, you hit that button and you just switch from the indoor setting to the outdoor preset, just cycling through some preset white balances. A and B are then custom. So the idea there is you would turn this to A, and then you've got your interview set up, the lighting's not going to change, everything is static. And what you do is you take a white card or a piece of paper and you put it in front of the face of your interview subject. You zoom in so you fill it with white. You're filling the camera with white in the lighting conditions that you're going to shoot in. And then you push and hold this one on the front here. And you'll see it actually adjust. You'll see it take a custom white balance. It will both the color will adjust and it will flash up a number, which is the color temperature of the room based on that white card. So we'll practice this together in class, but this is my best bet to show you in detail where the switches are. That's the white balance switch preset, 3 different presets that you cycle through with the button, or A and B, which you can set as custom, and then they hold on A or B. So if you sort of know you're going into a different lighting condition later in the day, you can set your B custom and then just flip it to B at the time when you go into that lighting condition. Okay, there's a look at how the manual white balance controls work on the CX350. Again, this is one of these lessons where part of it's in the hands, part of it's in the eyes, and part of it's in the brain. And that takes a little while to get good at. If this feels like it went over your head a little bit, don't worry so much about it. Just get hands-on, let's play with it. Start on auto, nothing to worry about. When you're getting confident in that, we'll switch to manual and start to take more control.